Lads, massive game this weekend at Anfield. Liverpool against Manchester United, one of the biggest games in world football. All signs are pointing towards a big Liverpool win. I mean, Man United are shambles right now, I think is the best word to sum them up after their Champions League exit. But if we look at the table, crazy, but they're only 10 points behind Liverpool, who sit top of the Premier League table. So a win here, and all of a sudden the atmosphere changes a bit. But Nick Mendola, Liverpool just have that nice little knack right now, don't they, of grinding out wins. They did it against Crystal Palace last time out. Different players are chipping in. Yes, they have some defensive issues, but so many players are stepping up for them right now. And they have that lovely kind of mixture and balance of youth and experience with Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson through the spine of the team. And I guess the best compliment I can pay to Liverpool is I don't actually know their best starting lineup because they have so many great options and they can mix it up and kind of keeps the opponents guessing, doesn't it?
Yeah, listen, there's been some wisdom out of Van Dijk. I think he's adapted a little bit. That's helped their back line. But to me, the focus is on two players. One who missed a little bit of time. They have the best goalkeeper maybe on the planet, and they have the best player in the Premier League right now, in my opinion, in Mohamed Salah. I would have told you that had they sold him to Real Madrid, or if it happened in Saudi Arabia, I would have said, not like he's a better player than Coutinho, but you get the point. Sell high. He's getting older, and he has just proven me wrong. Absolutely I don't want to say the form of his life, but he did go away to World Cup qualifying and score 4 goals for Egypt. I mean, he is feeling it. And when you talk about that special something, what makes it easier for Szoboszlai to adapt, who I think has been fantastic? What makes it easy for McAllister to learn a new position? What makes it easier for Tsimikas to play with Andy Robertson out? I don't know, the best player in the league being the best player in the league. And I don't want to oversimplify, but I think you guys have watched enough Liverpool this year. He's at his best.
Yeah, he is, right, Andy? And after the recent win against Palace, he was asked about the title race, any similarities to when they won the title with this squad and the togetherness. And he was like, yeah, I think we can do something pretty special this year. And there's a lot of, young guys like Harvey Elliott and others who are listening. They're taking on board what these players have told them, Champions League winners, Premier League winners. And I think we just didn't write off Liverpool, right? But we were just really unsure about what they were going to be this season after last season. But when we look at their body of work and how they finished the last campaign, how they started this one, they're right up there, right? They're the biggest threat. And by the way, Trent Alexander-Arnold, having him being able to play in defensive midfield and just run the show whenever Klopp needs him to, that's a pretty good tool to have as well.
Yeah, we heard about this for a couple of years, and we thought, no way that happens, because like big name switching positions like that don't typically happen, and it's been every bit as awesome, I think, as we imagined that it would be. They have a safety net at both ends of the field, right? Like Alisson obviously is the safety net in goal and bails the defense out, but Salah, when they need a moment, when they need a chance, when they need a goal, he is the safety net at the other end of the field, and just the consideration, I think, that goes into building a squad and having a balanced squad where you have match winners and potentially title winners at both ends of the field. It's good squad building that Liverpool have done over the last couple of years, realizing that they were going into something of a transitional period. And I think Nick was right to mention Virgil van Dijk, because I think there was a point in the last couple of years where we thought, well, they might have to replace him. But he's aged gracefully, shall we say, and he has figured out what the second half of his career is going to look like for him, how he's going to have to play, and how he's going to still arguably be the best defender in the world, just doing it in a different manner. And so, this Liverpool team, as the weeks go by, it seems like there's a list of questions about the squad or the way that they play or how they get results. And week by week, they answer one, they cross it off. They answer one, they cross it off. And I think it's getting to a point now where I look at them and I say, yeah, that might be that's definitely the second best squad in the Premier League. And I would put it a lot closer to Man City than I would have one at the beginning of the season, but two than I thought was even possible at all, even if Liverpool hit their heights, because City have struggled a little bit domestically at least. And so, this is an interesting one this weekend, but I think the title race, as we look forward, is going to get far more interesting between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, a lot more teams, but Liverpool are in there and got the chance to speak to Van Dijk after that recent draw at Man City. And you're right, he's aged like a fine Dutch Gouda. And he also talked about Trent Alexander-Arnold and how they have to kind of do something different to close that gap to Man City tactically, catch opponents out. Even in games, we've seen them moving out and moving back into midfield, out to right and switching up and down. And we saw that against Palace last time out. And that's what my point around how flexible they can be is why this Liverpool machine is a bit different this season than in previous Jurgen Klopp years. When we talk about Man United, Nick, obviously don't need to remind any United fans what happened the last time they went to Anfield back in March, a 7-0 thumping. Struggling for confidence after that Champions League exit, the way they whimpered and just limped out of that tournament was quite sad to see, really, with some of those players there. Obviously, a lot of question marks around Erik ten Hag's future. There's been links to Graham Potter potentially coming in if the impending Ineos investment and minority stake is confirmed, which we think it will be in the coming weeks and months. No Bruno Fernandes this weekend through suspension. Injuries are piling up again. Shaw and Maguire went down in midweek. Is this damage limitation mode for United away at Liverpool?
Maybe it should be. I mean, you know that gas station T-shirt slogan, you know, if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. I don't know that Erik ten Hag is comfortable in any role but the lead dog. And I'm really kind of worried about that. I think the same can be said for some of Man United's players. I don't think their best group's going out there. I mean, this team, Bruno Fernandes is producing more chances statistically than just about anybody in the league, that no one's finishing them. And I think Ten Hag's almost looking for an elixir, but it's not Martial, that he would have been better off spending the last month. I'm going off on a tangent. I'll stop. But he'd been going better off spending the last month just jamming Højlund down her throat and letting him figure it out. So I look at Man United going into a game like this, and I think, you know what? You either go for it or you quit your job. Because Manchester United is not supposed to be a damage limitation club. And if your mentality in this situation isn't what Ange's was, belief in your players, belief in your system, then you might as well quit, dude.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't love either of those options for United.
No, I agree.
This one, you know.
That's been the problem, right? That's been the problem all season with United. They don't really know what they are. Injuries have been bad, but from last season, they were so solid, methodical for, you know, apart from the odd defeat early in the season and here and there. They were rigid and kind of structured in terms of Casemiro, Eriksen, quite boring at times, but they seem to have fast forward this season to, okay, we can't do that anymore. We need to leave ourselves, we need to attack more, and they left themselves way more open. Again, key defensive and midfield players have been out. I get it. But there is no real progression on Erik ten Hag's ideas, or if there was trying to be, it's happened too quickly, right, with this group of players. So I think that's been the problem here, that they've tried to fast forward maybe in his playbook a little bit too fast, and to try and impress, I guess, the fans or potential new people running the club. And I don't think Manchester United know what they are right now, on or off the pitch. And we could probably say that for most of the last, decade now. So this is nothing new. But for this team, it has been a very, very disappointing start to the season. And that said, I can still see them going and doing something crazy, like winning 2-1 at Liverpool and getting a late goal or something nuts, because this is a real Jekyll and Hyde team. It really, really is. Andy's shaking his head. So my prediction is Liverpool will win. I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be a lot tighter than we expect. But what are you going with, Andy?
Yeah, it'll be a real spirited display from Manchester United, and they will sneak out a 2-0 loss in this one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Nick? I mean, I just I didn't expect that was where that was going. I'm going to just go for fun. I think both these teams still have issues in defense. So I'm actually going to say 4-2 to Liverpool. I will say this, at some point, we're going to get the false hope from Man United, or the real hope, because let's not forget, again, I mentioned Ten Hag leading from the front. It was just last year that in the first half of the year and going into January, they had a Derby win under their belt. They had a win over Liverpool. They had a win over Arsenal. So they do this from time to time. I'm just saying it. I don't expect it to happen, but this club does that. They make you go, what?
Yeah. A strange team. Let's see how they get on this weekend as they head to Liverpool. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the how to watch information, team news, live analysis, reaction, video highlights, and much more from one of the biggest games in world football. Liverpool against Manchester United. All the odds are stacked in Liverpool's favour, but we know this is a crazy game. Rivalry, derby games like this always spring a surprise every now and then. Let's see if Man United have any hope of getting anything at Anfield.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.